Oh yeah, it's beard stroking time. Gonna stroke my beard, stroke my beard, stroke my beard. I haven't got.
So the video need making bug addiction thing has struck again, and I'm back with another non-vlog trying to talk about things that I think I need to talk about. And if you don't want to listen, here's a robot to look at. Basically, I want to talk about the whole Transformers fan community, my place in it, and how I feel it rolls along, encompassing people as it does, like some giant malformed snowball. Before I got into YouTube, or even before that, before forums that I got into, I thought that I was a huge Transformers fan, and the scale of some other people's collections and sort of drive for the whole franchise just dwarfs mine. I was astounded as soon as I got properly into the online Transformers community. I was just like, I went from being a big fish in a little pond to a small fish in a very big pond. Round where I live, I do not know face to face, in the flesh, any Transformers fans on the level of me. I have one friend who vaguely knows about it from his older brother, and that's about it. I have no real trans fan friends, so I think that's why I needed to sort of start doing YouTube and on the forums, so I could actually talk to people about the things I'm interested in. And it turns out, of course, there are a lot of people you can talk to about such things, because of the fact that I'd never actually met any real Transformers fans like that. I thought I was a pretty big fan, but it just pales in comparison to some of these guys. The amounts of money they spend on the things, I would never spend that much money on these pieces of plastic. No matter how much I love them, it goes to insane levels, and for me to say that, it must be insane. Transformers has dominated my entire life so far. That's a good, well, let's say since I was about 5. I think certainly since Armada, I have not stopped buying Transformers. So it did dip a bit with Cybertron, but the Legends line was what kept Cybertron going for me, and then that just flowed onto the beach of classics, and bam, I'm in the big collector sort of arena with the movie toys, and now I have matured and can assess my place in this vast kingdom of wonders, and realise that I've got some old toys that are worth money that I like to keep because of nostalgia, which is probably what every trans fan older than me is in it for. So let's talk about some of these other trans fans that I have encountered through my wanderings upon the interweb. I think we're just going to go straight in there and talk about these 5 awesome Transformers guys. They are awesome. They're all great guys. I've spoken to most of them. They are just great guys, like Mitch Santona, Drew, Figure Death. I've spoken to them and they just seem like 100% genuine great guys. And then sort of offshooting from that YouTube community, you've got people like Matter Smasher, of course Dave, SMS number 1, he's in the 5 awesome guys too. They're all great guys. They're guys you can feel sort of vaguely equal to, even though you're never going to make anything as good as what they churn out. And then there's the level above them of people you sort of idolise is the wrong word, but strive to do something half as good as what they do. Guys like Thew. He is, of course, well, arguably the best reviewer out there. No one's ever going to come close to that. But then it doesn't matter, because that's his little brand of stuff. Everyone else does something different, carves out their own little niche. and that's good. Keeps things fresh and unique. And like that, you wouldn't really want everyone to be Thew. Then you wouldn't want Thew anymore, because he'd just be face in a crowd, a beardy face in a crowd. And then you have guys like Pew, Octobotamus, the guys that get their hands on stuff as if they have a time machine and go into the future and bring it back. How do they get this stuff so early to review and show everyone, look what I've got, about a month before it's meant to be on a shelf, probably stolen from some factory in China, but I'm going to show it to you. Those guys are equally amazing at what they do, but I think the sort of draw for them is more what they review rather than how they review. Of course they're great reviewers, they've obviously done enough to get experience of the whole thing, but it's staggering how many different kinds of reviewers and the sort of ways and means that they get their hands on and look at the figures. I've got to say though, I have encountered throughout the Transformers community, there are groups of people who are more open, helpful, you know, who will take a look at what you have to say, what you've got to offer, everyone as a whole, and then there are people who are just not registered or even there. I'm not going to name names because, to be honest, I've forgotten who they are, but there are people who, you know, you might comment on their video, you might reply to a post, they won't, you know, reply to anything back. Certainly I've seen they don't reply to anyone's comments. Why? If you're gonna, you know, say something to them, it's conversing, isn't it? YouTube comments, it's a way of conversing with the person who you've just been watching for about 10 minutes. It's a way of getting in touch with people, and I find that the people who don't bother replying to comments, things like that, I can see what it would be with some of the bigger people who just have too many comments coming in one day, just can't handle it. But some of the smaller reviewer guys, it's like, well, come on, get involved. These people are trying to talk to you, why don't you talk back? I don't know. There can be a ring of sort of exclusivity with some of these guys I've found. I really don't want to say this because, of course, I've promoted this site before. I love it. It's a great little blog, but the Transforming block, I think, is just a little bit, tiny bit exclusive. You know, you've got a handful of reviewers, they're all good. No, they churn out really good stuff. But it just seems, I don't know, I think since the site has changed, since it's been updated, the way you can't see the comments as readily, you can't see, you know, the people who are following it as easily. It seems a bit more shut in, a box. It seems more like the people who aren't the contributors but like the site, comment, you know, get involved that way, they're slightly shut out a little bit, and it's almost like it's turned into just a page for the contributors to get out their videos and get more hits. Of course that's not a bad thing. If I had that opportunity, that's what I do. But I've got to say, recently Transforming Block has gone a little bit downhill. It needs more of the sort of written articles. That's what I like about that site. Now it's just sort of feels like people have forgotten it a bit. I don't know about that. But that's beside the point. This isn't, you know, a video to criticise one of my favourite websites. But when it comes to me, I did try to carve out my own niche in the whole TFC. I thought, being a fan for such a long time, and of course being the only big Transformers fan I knew for many years, I thought I deserved a little bit of limelight, just a chance to show off my collection, show people what I thought about things, get involved, and, you know, make some friends in this big, wider world. And of course I've tried, some things have worked strangely. The videos that I get the most hits on, I really don't think when I make them that I'm going to do that well with them. I think it's a matter of luck. I think it's a matter of personality, to be honest. I may not have the most interesting personality. I'm certainly not the nicest thing to look at. It depends. There are guys that I enjoy watching the videos of simply because they're great guys, you know. They have a cool accent, or I don't know, some distinguishing feature like no hair off the top of my head, as it were. But I just didn't get there quick enough. This whole Transformers community, especially through YouTube, has been rolling on for so many years now, and I've only just got into it, and I suppose scratched the surface. There are so many more established people out there who people will instantly go to their videos for because they've been around for years, and you know, they're the experienced ones. They know what they're going to get with them. When it comes to some of us smaller guys, certainly some of the guys I've seen who've only just got into it, it's really hard for them, I think harder than it was for me, to actually get in and get their thoughts out there, get the views, because YouTube is pretty saturated now with reviewers, with little kids fumbling about with their toys to older guys just sitting there, you know, lounging about talking to you. It goes from the ridiculous to the sublime and back again. The internet is obviously a crazy place, and you just got to take it for what it is and take the people on it for what they are. They can't do any more. Can I do no less? Or whatever that feminism is. Well, there's my thoughts on the Transformers community. It's a strange place. Once you find your feet, when you get through the door and, you know, bump into someone, start having a chat, it's good, rolls on from there. You get to know people, obviously vaguely. You can't really get to know someone that well just staring at them for 10 minutes on a computer screen. It's like watching a film, you know. I can tell people are detracted from things, but when you get involved, when you go on the forums, when you post comments, you know, and I think certainly for people like me who have no physical sort of Transformers connections to any other human being, it's a good place to be. It's a good place to find out new things, have a laugh, and just generally share what you love. And really, people need to do more of that.